Guys, the video will be short, so before commenting, please watch the video until the end and understand what I have to say. So guys, how are you? I hope you're doing well. I'm the Monio, the interdimensional demon who talks the most about the Demon Slayer films on YouTube, and you're on my channel. Well, let's get straight to the point. If you're hoping to go to the theaters to finally see the conclusion of this story in this final arc, I'm sorry to disappoint, but we probably won't have the end of the anime in this trilogy of Demon Slayer films. But the Monio, where did you get this information from? This is information based on some findings. Let's go! If we start from the manga chapter that ended the Hashira training arc, we still have 68 chapters to be adapted, considering that on average each anime episode is 25 minutes long and that in the vast majority of cases it adapts 2 chapters of the manga, sometimes more, sometimes less, but we will put 2 chapters in our calculation as our average, which is what usually happens. So to adapt everything that remains of Demon Slayer, we would need more or less 850 minutes of animation, which is equivalent to 14 hours. So even if they made 3 extremely long films, 3 hours long, there would still be 5 hours left before we have an ending, and that's because I'm making an optimistic prediction. Most likely these films will be a maximum of 2.5 hours long, which makes that 5 hours easily add up to 6 hours. But the Monio, they just have to adapt and do everything else during the film's time. That is indeed possible. Well, I would agree if we were talking about 40 minutes, or even an hour, but people, it's 6 hours, and that's because I'm considering that they won't add more scenes to increase the duration, as happened in the Hashira training arc. But here comes the catch. The films will adapt the Infinite Castle arc, and this arc is being announced as the last, but the last arc is not that. The final arc is the Sunrise Countdown arc, which is when the Castle Infinity is destroyed, and the final battle against Muzan takes place on the surface, where everyone who is still alive fights until the sun rises. So we can conclude that we will not have an anime ending in these 3 announced films, because it is simply unfeasible to leave the ending so rushed, as these 2 final arcs of the manga are already extremely criticized for being too rushed and not being able to develop some things well. It wouldn't make any sense to make this even worse by compressing everything that's missing into 3 films. So what will probably happen is that the 3rd film will end at the moment the final battle against Muzan begins, on the surface, and after this film, another season of the anime will be announced, which will probably encompass those extra 5 or 6 hours, and which will probably last approximately 15 episodes, and will show the harrowing final battle against the King of Demons, and also the entire origin story of Yorichi, who is a character who has already appeared in previous seasons. But what about you? Do you think the entire story will be compressed into the 3 films until the end? If that happens, will it be horrible? Or do you agree with me? Leave your opinion in the comments, and if you liked the video, subscribe to follow the next content. Until next time my people, demonic hugs.